Oh, hello and welcome to another episode of Schnozzcast. One of your hosts tonight. This is Bob, joined by Cory and Nick. Tonight we're going to do... What are we going to do? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little Nick's Existential Question of the Week. Pick of the Week, and we may try a couple rounds of Bad People.
What is Bad People?
Which is a game that's been sitting on the table here for probably 6 months.
Only 6?
Yeah, I think I got it for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
I think there's other games that are dustier than that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've played this one in the kitchen upstairs because we wanted to test it out and see if it'd be any good for the show. But it's been many months since we've done that. So we might give it a try tonight. Cory, how are you?
Not so bad. And yourself, Bob?
Wow.
I'm good. I don't know what to say now.
It was like he was throwing up a rusty rake. Like that seemed like it hurt him.
Hang on. Oh, hey.
Oh my God.
Oh, and all is right with the world.
Yep. There you go.
Somehow the world made a little bit more sense.
The show can continue.
Yeah. Nick?
I'm doing fantastic. Sir, yourself?
I'm doing well.
All right. Like that plaid shirt.
Yeah, thanks. That's just something I just grabbed out of the closet and just threw on.
Yeah. Feel like I've seen it just last week.
Well, it's a favorite. So I do have some gifts for you fellas.
Uh-oh.
Whilst I was in the UP. I'm not sure whose is whose, but I think they're all the same. So
that was almost as good as I caught it before it hit my stomach.
Actually, they're all the same except for Todd's.
Oh, does it have a black person on it? For our audience that doesn't know, Bob seems to think that Todd only likes things that have black people on them. So, black action figures, or as Bob calls them, blaction figures.
I have never called them that.
Thanks, man. Oh, dude, my favorite spot.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know that they. God, the last time I went. Oh, look at the inside. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Kitchity Kippy from which is
Big Spring.
It's Big Spring. Yeah, thanks.
It means Big Spring in Native American.
I love it when and hopefully you're like me when you start to explain something and someone just jumps in and explains it for you. It's the best feeling.
I'm sorry, but who recommended you should go there?
Showing the inside of the shot glass.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, little Mises in there. So they didn't have.
No, there's no Mises in Cory's. He's got bear paws. He does.
Yeah, they're not all the same. God damn it.
Yeah. So this is. So I can't.
Which means Big Spring.
I mean,
I didn't know you were really teeing that up for yourself.
I also got you this.
Thanks, man. This is really cool. It's a really cool shot glass.
I got you that for you.
Oh, nice.
A little Kitchity Kippy keychain thing, and then
oh, sweet.
I didn't I couldn't find Todd. They didn't have a Todd, but I did get him this.
What is that?
Let me pull you up full screen.
Can you see that?
So what we're holding are
Money Talks. There you go.
Little keychains that say Kitchity Kippy. For you guys that don't know, Kitchity Kippy is a spot in Michigan, in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Bob's not first time maybe going to the Upper Peninsula, was it? Your first time?
No, but it was the first time. The only other time I've been there was for my younger, not my youngest sister, my younger sister's wedding.
Okay, so he was able to kind of sightsee when he went up there. I was fortunate enough. My dad has taken me all over every square foot of Michigan. For those who are not from Michigan, Michigan's Upper Peninsula is exactly that. You have to cross like a 5-mile bridge, the Mackinac Bridge, to get up there, and it's very, very far up north. And the weather changes, the scenery changes. It's colder. It's more mountainous. I mean, it's like a whole new world. So much to the effect that people in the Upper Peninsula or UP refer to themselves as Upers, and there was a long time, even still, that they feel they should be their own state.
Yeah, which all the rest of us said, yeah, fine.
Yeah, you could
Go ahead.
You could see. I mean, the
Does yours actually not have moose in the middle?
no, I said he's got bear
Oh,
paws.
I have bear paws.
Do you want moose?
I think the bear paws suit me better.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't. I literally grabbed three.
No,
I assumed they were all the same.
Doesn't matter.
Corey's more of a bear.
I've heard stallion from some sources.
Slow moving, larger. I get it.
Others I've heard the cowardly lion.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kitschy Kippy is like a spring, a naturally fed spring that's absolutely beautiful. It's huge. It's, God, I don't even know, like 50 feet deep, I think. And it is crystal clear water. But it's got like this bluish, like almost Cayman green color to the water. And,
I was going to say Cayman, yeah.
And you could, shut up. And it was famous for like an Indian chieftain who was, I think, if memory serves me correct, was rescuing a girl he was going after. They were in a canoe and it capsized.
You're thinking of the plot of Sleeping Beauty.
No. And
Pocahontas.
And he died. The water is so cold because it's naturally spring fed, and I don't think he could swim, and he died in there. So Kitschy Kippy he's
actually quite well preserved on the bottom.
Yeah. Kitschy Kippy in that tribe meant big spring.
Can I tell you? We went up to, so from where we were staying, it was a good 45-minute drive to get there. So hour and a half there and back to get there. I didn't know anything about it, just that Nick had recommended it. Mm-hmm. Big spring. I was like, yep, we got to go. So we get there, and
Had she also not been there?
No, it was a choice between there and
don't say the mystery spot.
No.
Irish Hills?
No. So we went kayaking around Pictured Rocks.
Yeah.
But what's the waterfall that's up there?
Tequamanon.
So it was between them and Tequamanon, but she'd already been to Tequamanon. I'm like, let's go somewhere where neither of us have been. Mm-hmm. Kitschy Kippy it was. I expected when we got there that we would have to hike quite a ways to get to the thing. So we roll up in the parking lot, and it's like a state park, so you have to have a state park pass or you got to pay a thing. So we're good with the pass. So we go in and park, and over to the left there's a gift shop, which was huge. This gift shop was huge.
That never used to be there, Bob.
For only, I'm sure, because it's only a spring. And I found this out because as we got out of the car, 20 paces to my right was the spring. And we had and so when you go to the spring, you can look at the spring, or for no charge, you can get on a platform and then jump on a little sort of a raft with a glass bottom that is connected to a pulley, so that they shut the door and then they operate the mechanism and it pulls you slowly across the spring.
So I'm sorry. So is it mechanical now?
Yeah. I don't think there's anybody on there that's operating a crank.
Wow.
Yeah.
So growing up, just to share my experience, going there.
How many years ago was that you were there?
At least 25, maybe.
Were there horses there?
No.
Okay.
But so it was it's basically a giant wooden raft. I mean, and by spring, this is a huge like pond, basically.
Right.
And there's a giant wooden raft with a thick piece of steel cable going across the pond, and it goes through the raft, so the raft can't like float away. And it had a big log with a hole in it, and the cable went through the log. And so you would take the log and move it, and you'd pull on the cable, and it would move the raft across, and you would take turns pulling the raft across.
Nope. Americans are too fat, dumb, and happy to do any of that shit anymore.
Yeah, so we used to pull ourselves across.
It's all automatic.
Wow.
But that trip takes probably 15 minutes to go like slowly across and then slowly back again. And that, coupled with the 20 paces walk there and back from the car, meant that it was an hour and a half ride for approximately 15 minutes. I was not prepared for that. It was fine because it was really, really cool. And so when we walked up, we're walking from the car. I'm like, do you want to go to the gift shop? She's like, no, I want to see the spring. I go, okay, just asking, giving you the option.
Yeah.
So we walked, again, 20 paces. We got to the spring, and there's a bit of a small line to get it onto the raft. While we're standing there, we both look, and this is important for the story, we both look at the raft because it's all you can look at. The raft full of people that is coming back from its voyage to the other side of the spring. And then Lori says, I want to take a picture of the trees that are around the spring. And the trees are, there's a lot of moisture because of the spring.
Yeah.
And so it is really interesting. Like I wasn't going, why the fuck are you taking pictures of the trees? Like, that's fine. But as she got done with that, now people are disembarking from the raft, and then now it's our turn to get on the raft. So we get on the raft. She gets on the raft, I get on the raft. They close the gate behind us and then engage the mechanism for us to go across. We start looking down through the glass bottom, which is really fascinating. It's super, super clear. You can see the fish. You can see
the trout and everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And we're moving. So what you're seeing down there, I'm standing right next to her. What you're seeing down there through the glass bottom is, yes, there's fish which are swimming. Fish are in motion, but there's also logs and whatnot at the bottom that we're moving over. So clearly, it's not a picture. Like, we're in motion. We get more than halfway across the spring, and she goes, God, I don't know why, but it feels like we're moving.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I go, yeah, we are moving. We have been moving. This is the raft that we looked at when we walked up here, that we got on board the raft. She's like, oh my God, I did not even realize this thing moved. And I'm like, but we've been looking down through the glass bottom at things that we're moving over, and therefore we're in motion and they're not static.
Didn't she see the raft pull up so you guys could get on?
I
was
thought
taking
so.
pictures of the trees.
Maybe she just gave it a quick, like,
So she thought it was like a dock?
She
blink, and then she moved over to the trees.
She thought that the pond had swimming logs.
You know what? It's entirely possible, Cory.
So I have to come to her defense. Maybe if she didn't know what it was about,
yeah,
and she didn't know it was I
didn't know what it was about either.
But she didn't.
But
know,
I know being in motion.
But you were watching. So
I was on the same raft with her and like 30 other people.
So if you're looking at the trees, taking pictures, the raft is a giant square. I mean, it is literally like maybe 20 by 20. It's huge, and it's not a normal raft. It's like a giant huckleberry fin raft. It looks like it could be a dock. So if she got on and was looking at the trees, the first thing
she was looking at the trees before she got on the raft.
But if let's say if it had already while people were disembarking, like, she did not see it actually pull up, she may have thought like it was an observation deck. And when she went on, the first thing you're going to do is look down.
But hold on a minute.
Right?
It's kind.
Hold on a minute. Let me just say, we've all been on rides, right?
Yeah.
If you're getting on a ride of any kind, where there's a ramp to get onto the ride, and then the people that are on that ride, when you're in line, they get off and they open a door, and then they all get off.
Yeah.
And then they
not a
go,
dock.
Now you can come on. It's not a dock.
Yeah.
It's a fucking ride.
I also feel it's kind of like being on the power tower and getting in the seat. And for those that don't know, the power tower, you can, one takes you up slowly.
Cedar Point?
At Cedar Point, yeah. And then we'll drop you. But I feel like that's like sitting in the seat of the power tower, and it starts slowly going up. And about 3/4 of the way up, you're like, holy shit, this is way different than we moved.
You're saying, like, if you just were like, it's kind of hot out here, I need to sit down. I'm going to get in this line because that's a chair that looks really comfortable. And I'm going to sit in this chair.
And then 3/4 of the way up.
Seems like we're moving.
Yeah, like, what were you in line for?
Yeah, right,
Standing on the dock?
You're 300 feet higher now, and you're like, wow, I can't believe we moved.
I am suing Cedar Point because I had no idea you were going to launch me into the air in this chair.
Folks, your turn to stand on the dock. Let's open the gate.
Yeah.
And just ignore the giant cable going through the dock.
Park's closed. Moose out front should have told you.
Yeah.
So we got done with the. Sorry, you were going to say something else?
Yeah, real quick, because before I forget you, this is actually really cool because a lot of places don't have my name spelled correctly.
I looked for everybody's name, and specifically for Griffin's name for Lori's son, which there's nowhere ever that would ever have that name.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, let me look for these guys, and I'm like, oh shit, I found it, but I couldn't find Todd as the only one. I'm like,
that's a
I
pretty
just
common
need something
name
that says money on it. maybe there were a lot of Todds that rolled through there. Like they snapped up all the.
It seems like it would be big Todd country.
But what's even better now is now I also have one from Siesta Key as well, because we found one down in Siesta Key.
Okay.
Any chance he can to bring up Siesta Key?
Had my name spelled correctly on it. So I guess I'm going to have to start a collection of these
mini
license plates. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a license plate as well from Siesta Key?
It's the exact, it's the Florida license plate and then the Siesta Key thing on the back with all the palm trees. So.
I wonder if you can go online and find the company that makes them, and so you can just go, you know what? I don't feel like going to all these places.
That's the
I just want to get the keychain.
I will say that this is the first time I've ever seen a shot glass that has like artwork on the inside, which I think is really cool.
I thought it was cool too. I just did not realize that there wasn't all the same artwork.
You son of a bitch.
And I would imagine they are not dishwasher safe.
Why?
Probably not. Well,
they're ceramic.
Of
the outside probably isn't. Yeah,
I would imagine.
What this?
I mean, you could try it. Yeah.
Oh, they're these are put in a kiln. I mean, yeah, these are absolutely dishwasher safe.
You heard it here, folks. Put it in a kiln.
Yeah.
Go ahead and wash those shot glasses.
Fucking history professor Nick gives another lesson over here.
Lesson. Right. No, but that's awesome, and I appreciate that. But you were in moose country and bear country.
Yes, we saw neither moose nor bear, although we did see on the way up there a bobcat.
Ooh, nice.
Some sort of a very large cat darting across the road.
Okay, well, how large? Show me with your hands. I mean, large like the size of you, or large like a large cat? Yeah.
So now let's hear the history of this.
Was it
from him?
Of course, from him, not from you.
I'm like, from me.
I have a place up north, so I know about all these animals.
Let me tell you about the history of the bobcat.
So it was not a cougar, right?
You know, I knew it was going to come to this. That's why
Bob,
I said, or some other kind of big cat.
In your expertise.
I'll be honest with you. It was so fast that I only saw A, that it was a cat, and B, that it was across the road that fucking
So it was a fucking leopard.
So, I mean, it could have been a cougar. Could have been a leopard, bobcat, tiger.
No leopards.
Mountain lions up north are going to be tan, all tan, and very short hair. A bobcat is going to be fluffy with like spots.
If I was close enough to tell you how short the fucking hair was, I'm probably lucky to be alive.
I mean,
it was black and long haired.
Bobcats are going to be fluffy and like twice.
I thought I was doing a nice favor. To
three times the size. That's amazing.
As you mentioned,
I've never seen a bobcat or a cougar up north, but they're there.
I didn't know I needed to collect, stool sample from the cat.
Never mind. That's great, Bob. That's awesome. Awesome story.
Already.
I thought this was a show where we could give input, but apparently it's
not. No, I don't think so.
Just tell your story. I won't say a word.
Thank God.
Stopping you from telling stories has been one of the great failures of my life. So
you're never going to get it. Yeah, right. It's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen. Right. Okay. So, so we're done with the. Sorry, let me just put a bow on this whole thing. So we're done with Kitchity Kippy. It's been the 15-minute ride, and we come back out, and I'm like, man, I really we have to go to the gift shop. We drove 45 minutes to get here. It's another 45-minute drive back over sketchy roads with bobcats / cougars,
leopards,
and we didn't have to. We've only been here for 15 minutes, so we got to go. She's like, okay. This fucking gift shop was bigger than my house. It was more square footage. There was more crap in that store to buy than I've literally seen. Even if you go to the boardwalk, and you go into a t-shirt shop there where they have 9,000 t-shirts, way too much stuff for the only thing it was serving was the customers who had just visited for 15 minutes. This big spring. Anything you could want to buy.
Wow.
Anything.
So how would they determine that you were an actual person visiting?
That's the only reason to go there.
What do you mean? How they determine?
I mean, I guess there's a park. Yeah.
So you could, you could just drive up there. I mean, you could still just walk in the gift shop, but the only reason to be in that general vicinity is just for the spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be like going to Tower 1 or the World Trade Center or something and not going into the World Trade Center. And just being like, hey, let me buy a World Trade Center shirt.
Right. There is surrounding it, there is New York that you could see.
Yeah.
But really, you came here to see this. And so there's a gift shop.
Yeah. Why would you want to buy a gift of something you haven't done?
No, I'm not. That wasn't the idea.
Oh,
of what
yeah,
I was
hold
thinking
on.
of.
I am more than willing to buy a gift.
I was gonna say
some shit that I didn't do.
He was just talking about buying keychains from places
I
that
don't
haven't
agree.
even
That's
been.
That's like
Right.
opening Christmas presents early. I don't agree with that. Like if you've been
No.
there, that's fine. Don't order something. That no,
No.
don't be like
Not true.
What is the purpose then?
What do you mean, what's the purpose?
I mean, if you've never been here and you never saw it, and you were like, oh, I need a kitchity kippy, and you ordered this online, and it came like that wouldn't make any sense.
But what we're talking about is a keychain that has a license plate with your name on it. It doesn't fucking matter where you got it from.
It also says kitchity
Yeah,
kippy.
Yeah, it does because it has to say exactly where you got it from.
But if I gave you, Corey, let me just use you as an example. If I gave you a baggie full of like 45 of those, one from and they're all from all sorts of different monuments or, tourist attractions, would you go, nope, not interested?
I'd want proof that you were there.
I would have to go there?
If you went and got them, then as a gift, yes, I would accept them.
But no, I was just saying, like, what if I found the company that manufactured
yeah, no,
these?
I'm not taking them.
Not interested? Okay.
No, I'm the same way. So,
right.
and my other question is going to be this: did you guys take photos at kitchity kippy?
Yeah.
Oh,
of course.
I don't think I saw them. Unless it was one of those like
I'm pretty sure I
Lori
tagged you in
Lori, that's funny. Lori uploaded 25 photos, then maybe I didn't see
She
it.
did. She
Yeah.
did. She uploaded a bunch. I don't know if she, I don't know if she tagged me in it or not. But I'm sure she probably did. I made an album for her to put them in, and then she didn't do that, and she just started posting them.
Of course she didn't.
But I had also
Don't tell me what to do.
when we were together, which was most of the time. If someone was going to take a picture, like she would go, I'm like, well, I don't need to take a picture then if you're taking a picture of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure it's on Facebook.
So here's a question: if
Yeah.
you were to go back to the UP and remotely in the area with like Jack and Cecilia, would you take them?
To Kitchity Kippy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't go up there just for that.
No. I don't think anyone goes up there just for that.
Yeah.
Bob, what are you doing this weekend?
Kitchity kippy.
Well, I'm just going to take a nice little drive.
Yeah.
Up to Kitchity Kippy. Oh, you and Lori, they're going to stay the weekend? No, just me for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're just going? Yeah, going to see this spring real quick.
That gift shop blew
back.
me away.
That big spring was calling me.
Yeah.
Had to take another raft
Heard
ride.
the call of the big spring.
I feel like of all people in history over the hundreds and hundreds of years that Kitchity Kippy's been there, Bob would probably be the second person that died in Kitchity Kippy. Like,
What?
He would somehow stumble, and then he would be part of the legend.
Why would you think that?
Just because I just feel like because you're kind of like a klutzy sometimes, and so I could just see,
Okay.
just sink to the bottom.
All right.
Hey guys, wait a second, hold on, we're moving. Oh, there he is. See the reflection off his glasses down there? There he is. The cold water keeps him
Yeah.
looking fresh.
Yeah. And those are shriveled nuts. In case you're curious.
Somehow the shorts
very cold.
Somehow after a year and a half, the shorts wore off
You're right.
and floated to the top.
Yep.
If we only had modern technology to recover them.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So we're gonna move forward here with a little existential question.
Existential.
Yeah. Question of the week. Great. Yes, that's done.
Wow. Okay.
I heard Todd's voice, and I was we were just recently talking about this, and I'm like, yeah, no, we don't need to hear the rest of that.
Okay.
That's not a long song
It was,
either.
right, but it was funnier that I'm just gonna cut it off halfway.
Okay.
So you say, all right.
Oh my goodness. All right. So for this installment of Nick's we're gonna go on to say
Oh, hold on.
What happened
that's
there?
as far as the
Nick's
song
what?
went.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I thought you were having a stroke.
No. So for this installment
sort of
of Nick's
aneurysm.
existential question of the week,
Bell's palsy. Man.
yeah, a little bit.
Got the palsy.
Make a smile.
I'm a palsy that you said that, Corey.
So this question of this week is going to be: give us one unpopular opinion that you have. One opinion that you have that is unpopular.
Nick Bader.
Almost all of my opinions are unpopular.
No, come on. An unpopular. I need an unpopular opinion. So we can think about it and maybe come back if you want to.
Wouldn't it almost be more successful of a segment if we told each other what the other people's unpopular opinions are?
You can do that if you want. and cause resentment for the rest of the show. Sure.
No, we're all buddies.
That we are, sir. That we are.
Look, Cory and I were jousting during the week
with our penises
over text this week, and it's all fun. It's all fun.
Yeah. Okay.
No one cares.
So it sounds like you have something in mind.
No, it was a defensive mechanism because I can't fucking think of anything. Not that all of my opinions are popular, just that I can't fucking.
Okay, so I agree. Let's do.
Hang on. I'll throw something out here. So here,
You break the log jam?
yes.
Excellent.
Now, not necessarily nowadays, but I used to absolutely love Limp Bizkit,
Yeah.
and I thought they were a fantastic band.
Okay.
But you used to.
Well, they haven't done shit in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
So
Well, he kind of looks like Michael McDonald now.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Oh, yeah, really? I've got to look now.
Oh God.
He grew his hair out and a beard and everything?
And it's white.
Yikes. All right. Fred
So-
Durst is his name, right?
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
And it was Wes Borland was the one guitarist. He's
okay.
him and his wife are from Detroit.
Okay.
They bought a mansion off of Outer Drive somewhere. But either way, it was. I always thought they were an awesome band and very very popular. But apparently, my opinion on that was a little unpopular.
That what? That you like?
That I thought Limp Bizkit was absolutely fantastic.
And that was unpopular to who?
Oh, a lot of people I knew.
At the time or now?
It's not like you
at
like
the time,
Marilyn
yeah.
Manson or something.
No, dude. I apparently it was.
Yeah. Limp Bizkit was a very polarizing band back in the day.
There were still a lot of people
What'd
that
you say?
did not like them.
That didn't care for that, huh?
Yeah,
Also,
didn't like you because you liked them.
Cory, check your feed. You'll see what he looks like today. Okay. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I almost feel like that question was like a better question that would have been an answer for would have been like what bad decisions have you made in the past that you regret? Like that's probably.
If only it was your segment. You've made so many bad decisions.
Yeah.
Just unpopular opinion. Or you can go back to, since you weren't here, to last week's serious issue, shallow thought, if that's more comfortable for you.
Oh no! I'm not going to shirk. You know what I'm going to do? I have maybe this is a cop out, but it's still a legitimate answer. If Cory's qualified, then mine qualifies. Once upon a time, for many years, I really liked, like probably an unhealthy obsession with the Smashing Pumpkins, and thought they were also musical geniuses. And I dragged my wife at the time to many shows, some of which I actually paid for, to go see this band. She hated them, and her hate grew with such a white-hot intensity with everyone that I took her to the point where I would not be surprised to find out that was at least in some small part why we got divorced.
So
Because of the Smashing Pumpkins?
Yeah.
So how unhealthy of a like did you have for them?
He decimated so many pumpkins at his house.
I took her. I'm sure I took her to probably see them 5 times.
That's not that.
I can't think of like more than 3 songs that they sang.
Right. And,
I was gonna say, I
so
only
someone
know
took you
one.
to see a band that you hated the first show and took you to 4 more of them. Wouldn't you be like, okay,
It's enough already with the
motherfucker-
Pumpkins.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have reached my breaking point.
Or you just smoke a huge bowl and pass out in the parking lot.
I mean,
Little vomiting.
that only occurs to those of us who are blessed by genius to do that.
So how many people missed the show that day?
4.
More than really needed to. Yeah.
Okay. And I know we've talked at least 3 times about that story. So
Yeah.
we
Let's
won't
not
touch
touch
that.
that. So
my-
yeah, Pumpkins.
The Pumpkins.
Yep.
All right. I will go and stray away from. I'm sorry. Cory has a question.
Hang on,
Cory, go ahead.
I want to go back to Bob here.
Sure.
As we just closed it out. Perfect.
It's not
Yeah.
my segment.
Yeah.
You can do what you like. Or
in that parking lot. How long were you there?
Right.
No, how many T-shirts do you have of pumpkins?
I have. I'm sure I bought one at every one of those shows. I don't currently have, I think, more than one or two in my drawer somewhere. Yeah, I'm sure I bought one at every show.
I will say I have two.
That's actually, I lied. I'm sure by the time we got to the fifth one, because we had a joint checking account, I'm sure I was not allowed to buy any more.
So 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Sorry.
You guys worked it all out of your system? All the questions?
Yeah.
All right. So I actually have two that I just kind of thought of on the fly. One, because of what Bob just said.
You're welcome.
Is a very unpopular opinion. I love pumpkin-flavored beer, which there are so many people that are like, that's disgusting, fucking pumpkin spice.
So your unpopular opinion is that pumpkin-flavored beer is good?
Yes. I will seek it out during the appropriate times. But, which is, fall. I'm not going to drink pumpkin-flavored beer. I'm not going to drink pumpkin-flavored beer in the summer.
Which is,
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah. Well, because I'm used to Todd asking follow-up questions, so...
I thought we loosed the shackles of that for this episode.
Explains why when I drive around forever in July looking for a pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers.
They're around. They're just
never growing pumpkins in July.
They're around.
Nick did say the fall.
Yeah, damn it.
Now that I think of it, this is summer. I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
Second unpopular opinion is that I feel like at a certain age, however so often, whether it be once a year or whatever, you should have to recertify your driving test. That is my unpopular.
I agree with that. I don't think that anyone should over the age of let's say
50.
68
like 50.
should ever be driving a car.
No, because I think that there are too many families that feel like it's an uncomfortable conversation. They can't say we're going to take your keys away.
They also don't want the burden of having to drive them.
Yeah, you have a patriarch that's very opinionated, and how are we going to tell him he can't drive anymore? And I literally have seen way too many times. I've been in traffic where I'm looking across a red light and there is a, mint colored Grand Marquis, in oncoming traffic facing me at the same light. And it's this blue haired man, that's just allowed to do whatever the hell he wants.
Blue haired man?
The people that are usually older, they call them blue hairs.
Okay.
Or bobs.
Because the hair is colored so white that it's in certain circumstances looks blue. So they call them blue hairs. Older people.
No. There's the old ladies used to actually use a product that would give a slight bluish tint to their hair.
Okay, so why are you questioning it if you know the answer?
Because it was never dudes. There was never old men. It was just old women.
White colored hair on anyone. He was in the driver's seat, and he was endangering the lives of everyone. Didn't even wait for the light to turn green in oncoming traffic. Just pulled right into the intersection and started just basically driving wherever he wanted.
So now to add to that, as far as because I'm on board too.
I'm sorry. I thought you were going to ask me about my shit again.
About your hair?
No.
Oh, about the Smashing Pumpkins?
Yeah. I thought you had more questions.
Oh God.
How many pairs of Smashing Pumpkin socks do you own?
Yeah, seriously.
5 shows, 5 pairs, man. I'm not sure
Is this
why.
the fucking Schnozzcast? Let's go.
So, would you also add on to that even if a person over that age limit successfully passed that test, you can only drive a certain size vehicle?
I mean, I think it would all be a part of the test. It would be like, what kind of vehicle do you have? But if they are proficient,
motorhome.
If they're proficient with that vehicle, then you have to test in the vehicle you're going to be driving.
That makes sense. Well, but just to add on to your point of it's usually a tank of a vehicle.
Yeah,
that this tiny little
like
person is
boat.
driving.
Usually, as Jerry Seinfeld would say, you just see a hat with 2 knuckles on the steering wheel.
Yeah, and and even put it in comparison, like when we the day of the wedding that you and I took Joe's truck, we got in there and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, driving this would be way different than anything I've ever been used to.
I haven't seen an older person drive a jacked up, lifted F-150, but I get what you're talking about.
But to put myself in their shoes, that them driving a Grand Marquis, I feel like that's kind of the same comparison.
I feel like at that age, you will be a Clint Eastwood, Cold Dead Hands sort of man.
I'm not talking about myself.
Ain't nobody gonna fucking tell me. I'll fucking take the keys out of my cold dead hands. I could fucking still drive.
Well, yeah, but
And
still,
I also think you'd be like, but here's the question: is the checks and balances of it? Who is going? I mean, old people don't care about anything. So, are you gonna tell? I mean, who's gonna keep an eye? I mean, who's gonna say like, oh well, this guy didn't come in and test out, and so what is it gonna say? Like when the cop runs his plate, it's gonna say like invalid, so they're gonna stop him, and now they're gonna say, hey,
jail them.
It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years since you're supposed to be testing every 3 years,
No,
So,
fuck
okay,
that.
so-
Every year.
okay,
Once you get
hey-
to a certain age, it should be every year.
Yeah.
So
None of this 4 years.
So I guess this is
bullshit.
not an unpopular opinion.
I agree with your opinion.
So
I
is
do.
he.
Yeah, so do I. So okay, so local fire departments will add on to any elderly person or any family member of yours that's older. You can call them and request what's called a Knox box for their house. So it's basically something that is securely attached to the front door.
Yeah.
That will, in the event of an emergency, whether it be a fire or a health emergency, the fire department dispatch is able to unlock that Knox box from the dispatch center,
And it contains a key to the house.
and it contains the key to the house.
like
fire-
a real estate box.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
The but way more secure than that. Yeah, they're very, very secure. And the fire department or police can gain entry. If that's the case with a Knox box, why not? Because if
Knox
you're going,
box the car.
if you're going in to get a test done, you obviously there's going to be you have to bring your vehicle in with you, and just like a PBT for anyone that's been charged with 17 DUIs, you have to do this, or you don't bring that car in to take your test, your car gets shut down and doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it locks out the car.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of stuff that
Sure.
people would have to do that they probably wouldn't. So it would definitely cause more traffic stops, that's for sure. Because as soon as they ran a plate, it would say, oh, this person hasn't tested out in 5 years. So we got to stop them.
What is the test that they should have to pass?
It would have to be like a
like
driver's
a whack-a-mole game. They
Driver's-
have to whack a certain number of moles. in order
driver
to
safety course.
qualify for the reaction time.
I would just say just take a huge letter of any bit of the alphabet, just hold it up and be like,
one of the letters.
which one is this? And they're gonna be like, E. You're like, no, it's a D. Okay, sorry, have a nice one.
But I don't even think it's always as I don't think that it's always having to do with their vision being bad. I think
No,
you have-
yeah,
I mean,
know
but
it's-
seriously, I mean, because some are just senile or they have dementia or, they're confused. A lot of times it's confusion. Like, I didn't know where I was going,
that are kind of whiskey throttling it rather than hitting the brake, just slamming on the gas to try to brake.
Launching themselves into a donut shop.
Yeah.
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 That happens all the time. All the time.
I'm not doubting that one bit.
I'm telling you, dude.
What made you think this was an unpopular opinion?
Because there's a lot of people I feel that are like, oh, well, then we shouldn't have to do that. And,
These are old people.
we're American citizens. And, why do we, I've already tested for a driver's safety.
Yeah, but I can put my mom in a home.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
why? I mean,
But people have a big problem
that's-
taking away keys from family members.
I mean that's literally taking away her actual physical freedom, as opposed to just taking the car away.
We took my grandpa's keys away. I remember that, and it was not a fun time. And we saw him walking home from the liquor store one day that was like 2 miles away.
Good on your grandfather.
Yeah,
'Cause
he's
you
like,
know what?
you're not going to
You
stop
do-
me.
You do what has to be done.
Yeah,
You're
he
not
got
gonna stop
and he
me.
got some exercise in the process.
Yes.
Right.
If anything, you guys helped him in more than one
I'm
way.
sure at some point he was like,
He's probably like, son
Well-
of a bitch.
looks like we're walking. And stumbled away in the direction of the liquor store.
So they were serious about this. Guess I should start walking.
I remember
Changing my will tomorrow.
I remember so there were two things. They'd have to, he loved to drink. And so they would have to hide booze from him. And he also he shouldn't be driving. Well, we were up north one time and it was, he was like the crack of dawn kind of guy, staff sergeant in the Army, And so my dad woke up and it was like 7 a.m. and he sees my aunt's Lincoln town car, like driving around the cabin, like in like by the woods, like where no one drives. No one's ever drove. There's a place where you park, and that's it. And then it goes down a hill to a pond. And my dad looked out the window to like see if there were deer, outside or whatever. And he sees her town car, which my aunt was sleeping, and the dewy grass, sees her town car going around the back of the cabin, which basically had enough room for like a compact car. If you had to take a car back there, which there would be no reason for it. And so he ran around the top of the cabin to the next window, and my grandpa was like going down the hill to the pond. Like, and again, no one's ever driven there. Came back around, and there was about, 5 feet in between the cabin and the shed, and like gravel and stuff, like, that you walk on, not like a driveway. And he rounded the cabin and tried to go up onto the gravel and bumped into the shed. None of us could figure out what the fuck he was doing. Like, and my dad he's like, oh my God. So he woke up his sister and he's like, Debbie, Daddy's got your car and he's driving down to the pond. And she goes, what? And he goes, Daddy's in your car and he's driving to the pond. And she goes, you can imagine how confusing that would be. And my aunt loved her Lincolns. Like she worked at Ford, always had a Lincoln. And she looks out the window, looks at the pond from the second story and doesn't see a car. And she's like, where? And he's like, there. And he points down, and lodged in between the deck and the shed was her town car. And my grandpa trying to back up and go. And of course she went nuts, and her and my grandma went running down there and screamed at him. And so that is a moment that she was like, okay, I can no longer put my keys on the mantle. This is he will find them, and he will try to go to the store. And to this day, we still have no idea where he was going or why he was driving that way. He's never driven there. And
I would say, he was probably trying to go to the liquor store.
But he was going the opposite way. He was going towards the woods.
Sometimes you take the long way to get places.
Yeah.
Yep. Secondly, that was clearly back in the good old days when you could just drive around your property and just destroy things. Everyone's like, oh, that's Grandpa.
Seriously, he's never done that in his life. It didn't make any sense. No cars have ever been where he went. So it didn't even make any sense as to why he was doing it. And certainly a town car was not built for that. But I remember they were going nuts and they were screaming at him. And he looked at my dad and he said, hey, buddy, when you get a second, can you move this car? The women are getting a little squirrely.
I was going to say, I really hope he kind of got out and treated him like a valet service.
He did. He was like...
Drops the keys in his hand.
He goes, I don't know what they're all upset about. He goes, but can you move this when you get a chance? They're getting a little squirrely. Like as if it was just a woman problem. These women,
Hey, one of these crazy ladies parked the Lincoln here.
Yeah.
I was trying to move it. Take care of it.
Oh, God, it was funny,
though. Can I piggyback onto that question? I had a thing that I'm like, I could send this to Nick, but he's just going to, so maybe I'm better off if I just launch into it and he can tell me whether or not.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you were talking about, your question was basically around unpopular opinions, but this is more about unpopular
decisions,
habits related to food. So you could call this whatever you want. Like you could say, if loving this is wrong, I don't want to be right. What do you guys have that's like, for an example?
I already got one.
Go ahead.
I want to hear the rest of the question.
I thought he was done.
I was just going to give an example, but I don't need to if you're going to go ahead and
launch into unpopular opinions about food?
Yeah.
I don't like my food to touch. I don't
ever.
I mean, I don't want for instance, like my stepdad grew up in a very poor family, and so he would say, just pile it on. Throw on the mashed potatoes. The beans can go on top of the mashed potatoes, and the ketchup can go into the mac and cheese. And if
they happen to touch in the plate, it's okay.
It can all go because it all goes in the same place. It all goes in the same place. I'm like, yeah, but the vessel of it going in that same place is not the same because you have to taste it. So you have to taste it mixed together, which is disgusting. I understand that it goes in the same place. If that's the case, then you may as well just eat potatoes all day long. If it's all going in the same place, who cares what the flavor is? But I don't like
potatoes.
I don't want like different foods touching. Like if it's a piece of chicken touching a piece of bread, no big deal.
I was gonna say so you are on board with like if things go together.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like corn mixed with mashed potatoes.
That's disgusting.
How's that? That's disgusting.
Corn mixed with mashed potatoes. That's nasty.
I'm with you.
They don't go together. That's something that people did at probably Thanksgiving, and no one's like, hey.
What about refried beans and rice?
I would eat them separate, but if they touch, that's not a big deal.
It's not as big of a deal as if it was corn and mashed potatoes.
Because nobody says like, oh, hey guys, my dish to pass is kernels and mashed potatoes. Like it's something I've
made that.
Somebody, I'm sure you have, but I think it started with. It's not a dish like an official dish. I think it's something that people went and started doing like in the holidays. They would mix their corn into their mashed potatoes.
Right.
I don't think it's its own thing. I don't. Think,
it is.
No, it's just because you mix them doesn't mean it's your own thing.
Dude,
like,
so like a KFC bowl with like popcorn, chicken, mashed potatoes. Obviously, you don't like corn and mashed potatoes together. But like, so just like chicken and mashed potatoes.
That'd be fine.
And like some gravy over it. You're okay with that?
That's perfectly fine because those go together. Yeah, but
in your head they go together, but in other people's heads they
no.
Because they put corn in it too.
At Thanksgiving, people often have turkey gravy over their turkey, and they have gravy over their mashed potatoes, and sometimes you take a piece of chicken and you dip it in the mashed potatoes with the gravy, so that that goes together. That's supposed to do that, but I wouldn't be like, I mix my mac and cheese with my beans, like just because they're two different things.
Mac and cheese and tuna fish are.
Oh, see, that's a problem. That's disgusting. When you did that on the river, that was disgusting.
It was, dude. It's a poor man's tuna casserole. It's amazing.
No, that's disgusting.
He is right about that. You can. Plenty of people make and bring tuna casseroles to parties.
I understand that.
And that is essentially what he's done.
I understand that. But I'm saying this is for me because the question was centralized to each person.
Yep.
And I would never eat most like salads, quote unquote, like potato salad, mustard salad, this salad and that salad.
Salad?
I don't think those things, like fucking
mustard with mustard.
Potato salad and egg salad and chicken salad, like all this salad, I think it's too much. No, because it's basically mixing a bunch of shit together, which I can't do. That's disgusting. So the same thing, like a lot of casseroles, like is also very similar. You're taking different foods and mixing them together. I'm not into like loaves, like meatloaf and olive loaf, and it's like we're just going to put a bunch of shit together.
No. Olive loaf and meatloaf are not.
I understand
the same thing.
But I understand
bologna infused with olives.
But if you're forming something,
meat,
if you're forming meat to slice later on, like no, that's disgusting.
But in actual, that's what you're doing with a steak. It's being cut. A certain cut is being cut for you to cook it later and eat it.
Okay, a steak is not formed. A steak is sliced. And that's a piece of muscle.
Burgers are formed.
Burgers are formed, and I'm okay with burgers because the only thing in them is the hamburger meat.
Not necessarily.
Hot dogs are formed.
I'm not going to be like putting
cheese,
olives,
bacon?
and mixing olives
Come on, dude.
and chunks of bacon into my hamburger meat.
What?
No.
Then you probably should try it.
Just
mixing stuff into hamburger meat is quite amazing.
Yeah.
No,
100%.
No.
All right, Cory.
What was the question?
If loving this kind of food, so the example I was going to give was a lady who liked to put potato chips on her ham sandwich.
Oh God.
Okay. So when we were younger, we would do Doritos
Yeah,
on a bologna sandwich.
I've done Doritos on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Okay, I could see that being pretty good.
Yeah,
or potato chips on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
The funny thing, funny thing is that my cousin Derek, I've always liked to make food and stuff like that. And so when I was younger, he'd be like, "Can you make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?" Like it was hard, and I'm sure he knew how, but I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." And so he'd be at my dad's house, and so I'd make him peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And one time, to be funny, I put Doritos on it, nacho cheese Doritos.
right.
And he said it was like one of the best things he's ever had. And another time I put bacon bits and he also said that was good. But I get the salty sweet.
Yeah.
That would probably be good.
Okay.
So, so basically a food that I like that other people wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I would say for me, I will still put ketchup on a hot dog, a brat, sausage.
Yeah, that's normal.
No, I found it's not. Most people were like, ketchup. No, you put mustard and onions and shit.
Mustard is disgusting.
I put ketchup and mustard on it.
Yeah, I put ketchup on a hot dog.
People who don't like mustard will say that. Like Cory hates mustard. But most people are like, no, you don't put ketchup on brats.
I actually grew up with my dad making beer brats a lot. Beer brats and baked potato, and we always used A1. So anytime I make a beer bratwurst now, I always have A1 on it, which is probably strange.
That
I
would definitely have qualified for this.
But I certainly would put ketchup on it.
With A1?
No.
Oh,
God,
okay,
no.
instead of?
Touching, Bob.
All right.
I guess then mine would be basically the opposite of that, of just the lack of condiments.
Yeah, you're not a sauce guy, are you?
I in certain occasions,
like you like a plain hot dog?
the only thing, if they have it, relish and onions.
He just ate a plain hot dog last week when he was here.
Did he?
Yeah. And it must have been exhausting because he got to the little dick tip end and set it down and went and laid on the futon. And he got yelled at by his wife.
Why'd she yell at you? Because you left food?
What are you doing? Cory Michael, if you're tired, let's go home. Why are you laying down?
I was very surprised they let me lay there as long as I did.
How long were you there?
Probably 15 minutes.
I think I put her on the scent. She goes, "Where's Cory?" I said, "He's working off his hot dog. He's laying on the futon." And she goes, "He's what?" And then it was like the mongoose and the cobra. She went right around the corner.
Let me at him.
And
I oughta.
And then I remember his response was something like,
I'm not. I'm just laying here. My eyes are open. My back hurts.
I'm thinking.
"My back hurts."
I'm reflecting on the day.
I think that's what he said. And I'm like, "You lying son of a bitch." I was in the next room, like, just laughing.
I was spent. But yeah, I'd say lack of condiments. Like I said, for a hot dog, relish and onion if they have it.
Yeah.
If not, it's going to be plain.
Okay. I mean, that's an interesting twist, too. Like, if they don't have what you like, you're just going to eat it plain.
Or even like a hamburger.
Or even refuse to eat it at all. Like, I'm just not going to have one.
I also tried to send home condiments with your hamburger, and I was almost verbally had I verbally had my hand smacked and was told, no.
She grabbed you by the collar, slapped you around a little bit?
No, he doesn't like that. I said, well, maybe some pickles.
Wait,
no.
What did you try to send home?
Condiments with your hamburger.
Ketchup, mustard?
I just started the condiment
and
trip.
she was like, I don't even want to hear it.
No,
he won't like.
Because she's
really?
like, she placed the burger and the hot dog and
Yeah.
then snapped the container shut. And I go, well, here, I'm gonna give you a separate container. No. I said, no,
Was she on the way out the door?
No, not really.
Okay.
And I said, well, how about Bob doesn't eat onions? I said, oh, okay. Well, maybe some pickles. She's like, this is fine. She doesn't want anything else. I'm like, okay, all right. So,
wow.
Yeah.
It would be funny if I was like, babe, I think we really need to have a talk because I got to be honest with you. I mean, thank you so much for the food, but
the burger could have really used some condiments.
It was so plain, and I'm like, I thought you knew me. I thought we had something.
It was very matter of fact.
I know Nick, and Nick normally has chopped up onions.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, Nick has always told me repeatedly for years.
If you ever need chopped up onions,
I'm your man. That's what he
I'm
said.
who to go to.
Yeah.
I could have really used some chopped up onions and pickles on that burger.
So you're telling me.
Yeah.
You are telling me.
I think I said to her too. I said, well, I just figured. I said, I know sometimes he doesn't have a lot of stuff in his fridge, so I'm going to send some of these.
Oh, that's not entirely true. I have plenty of condiments. It's the food that I'm generally.
Well, we know you throw away ranch dressing, so
I'll throw anything away if it's expired.
No,
Bob treats ranch dressing like a condom. He uses it once and then he disposes of it.
No, he throws away new ranch dressing.
That's
I
what I'm
remember
saying.
he told me one time
one use out, even if it's a whole bottle. Once there's one use out of it, it's done.
I remember he goes, "Hey man, Joe ordered all this pizza, and he's got 2 bottles of Jets Ranch. I'm going to throw it in the trash if you don't want it. And I go, throw it in the trash.
I offered it to him first.
Throw it in the trash. Like, it's sacrilege. It's the best ranch in the world. It's buttermilk homemade ranch. And I'm like, what do you mean throw it away? He's like, because if this ranch is in my fridge, I will basically drink it. And so I need to throw it away.
Yeah,
so
I'm saving my own life.
Ranch condom, by the way, buddy. Just a
yeah.
Well played, sir. Yeah, that I would, if it's, I feel like I don't know if I told this podcast, but I feel like I've told you before. When my dad was alive, my parents were living together out in Scotts on west side of Michigan. I would go there either with the kids or sometimes just by myself, and notice that they had, their fridge is packed. It's like they were. I know they didn't have the food that they bought there just for me and my kids. It was packed with all sorts of stuff that there's no way they could eat all of it before it spoiled. But on the condiments front, they had every kind of condiment you can imagine. 5 or 6 different kinds of mustard. Worcestershire sauce, A1. 7 different kinds of salad dressings. And as you start, like, once I grab something and I'm like, let me just look at the date. 2017.
4 years ago.
Yeah, and literally it would be like over a year that it had been in the fridge, being actively eaten by my parents. But obviously infrequently. But
Still,
I started, like, I waited till they went to bed, got up, turned on the light in the kitchen. I started pulling stuff out of the fridge, and I made a pile that was probably 30 bottles of things. And put on the counter. I took a picture of it and sent it to my sisters. And I'm like, all this shit's going in the garbage tonight. I'm not telling them that I'm doing it. I'm not putting it in their garbage. I'm going to take a trash bag it all up, put it in my car. I'm going to drive it the fuck out of town. They're never going to be the wiser, and I'm going to be gone by the time they realize it, because they're going to kill each other. If not, with fisticuffs, then they're going to poison each other with
food,
old food
products.
Yeah. It was. I can't believe they didn't notice the next day, because the door of the fridge was now all of a sudden like half empty.
I was going to say, you had to clean out most of the fridge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, insane. And ever since then, I'm like, yes, there are certain things, and I get, Lori finger wags me a lot about, like, oh, that's not mayonnaise based, and therefore it can last approximately 6 weeks longer than the date that's on that bottle, whatever. I'm like, I don't have the time or the energy to do, like, expiration date math to figure out, based on the ingredients of the food, whether or not it's, like, if the date is there and it's after the date, it's fucking going.
I was going to say, so that was going to be my Cory's existential question was, how close do you follow expiration dates? But which you obviously already answered.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I'll tell you, the day that's on something.
Yep.
I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's non-perishable.
Right.
It's going in the garbage.
Those crackers.
It's
These
done.
These crackers expired yesterday. Throw the entire full box away.
Dude, but I will. But the woman I married has the complete opposite idea.
Yeah, but she comes from a large family, and that's pretty common, I think.
I get it. Our backgrounds are much different.
I once saw. I just clarified this with Christy the other day. It was my father-in-law ate a piece of ham out of the garbage once.
I don't doubt it.
Which I thought, I think I had been misattributing that to her brother.
Was it above or below the rim?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Refuse adjacent.
If it left your hand and then was airborne for a second or less and then hit the trash.
Remember George?
Doesn't matter. Yes,
the cannoli. It was still on the paper, and
it was top shelf.
It was one bite taken. And I know who took the bite.
Yeah, I knew. I could say I knew someone in my lifetime that actually did that.
Yeah,
which is weird, because I see Cory as a drop on the floor, not a big deal, still eat kind of guy.
I'll do the 5-second rule.
I mean,
unless it's like soup,
right?
I'm not gonna spoon soup off the floor 2 seconds later. But if I dropped a cracker on the floor and I was like,
I would grab that and eat it.
If it was my house,
but that's like what George said too. And he goes, so if you drop something on the floor, you'd eat it? And he goes, well, you got to think about it. He's like, 5 seconds. if it's dropping from that high, whatever germs were there, it's going to knock them out and throw them flying. The other ones, before they have time to realize what's going on, I'm already picking it up off the floor. So you're good.
He's a smart man. All right, we're going to do a shot here so before we end the show, so please join us. Cheers. I love that. Oh,
yeah. Whew.
Oh, my God.
It is going down like a rusty rake tonight. That's for sure. And Bob and I usually love Revel Stoke.
Rough, man.
We usually really love it. And tonight we're
I got to
both
think
like,
twice about what I'm going to buy of Revel Stoke after this one. Maybe we just got a bad batch.
A bad batch. Okay.
Revel Stoke Polyurethane Edition.
Yeah, it tastes like floor cleaner to me.
Yeah.
And yet we keep drinking it. I forgot what I was going to fucking say.
I don't know.
Did we finish the segment?
You're going to introduce the game.
No, we're not. It's way, way too late for that. Way, way too late for that. I don't fucking remember.
Okay.
Let's just going to call it a show. Thanks for sticking with us, especially through that
Rough
janky
patch.
ending. Yeah. So on behalf of Nick and Cory and Todd, who we missed today, this is Bob saying we'll see you next weekend.
Have a good night.